Hi and welcome to Along the Towpath. Today I'm joined by Matt Giggs. Matt, probably the busiest man in an estate agency, I think. He's a trainer, he's a mentor, he's a business owner, you name it, he's doing it. Matt shares with us today tips on productivity, what discipline looks like, and he shares his version of what a controversial opinion is. Enjoy. So welcome, Matt Giggs, to the Towpath. We've been joined by canal bars today.
It's pretty handy, isn't it,
Really?
really?
It's actually real. People can see it's real. How are you doing? You well?
I'm really good, thank you. Yeah, it's lovely to catch up again.
It's been a long time, isn't it?
It's been ages.
Yeah, a long time since we
long
actually
time.
spent a bit of time together.
Yeah, and I've come,
Dressed for the part. Well, I'm stood in a fleece.
Well,
Just position you as the hardest man in the estate agency.
I was just being ambitious. I've got a tan. I thought I'd show it off,
And I just didn't iron my shirt, so I had to cover it up. Oh, good stuff. Well, welcome. So you've come from St Neots today, so thank you for making the trip down.
No, you're welcome.
But for the very small number of people in the industry who don't know who you are, just give us a quick introduction.
Yes.
As to who you are and what you're about and what you do, because you are an extremely busy man.
Yeah, it's funny really. It's kind of altered slightly over the years, but I'm a seasoned estate agent, if you want to put it that way. Started as a trainee at 19, 29 years in the industry, gone from trainee to, I was a corporate director. Then I left the corporate world about 14 years ago, set up my own estate agency first, scaled that through partnerships, so limited company partnerships. Whilst doing that, I ended up coaching other business owners, mentoring and training estate agents, which I still do. And just recently, I launched the Estate Agent Showdown podcast. That's a fun project.
Yes, it is fun. I've enjoyed watching those, and we'll put a link in below so that everybody can have a look at that. But yeah, so you're a busy man, aren't you?
Yeah.
Sometimes
I get to the point where sometimes in a year I think, why have I done this? On many occasions, what am I doing?
Year or day or month or week.
Yeah. But no, I kind of try and follow my passion, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because it doesn't, and it's not the cheesy bit here, but if it's enjoyable, it just doesn't feel like such a grind.
It's the Cal Newport, so they can't ignore you territory, isn't it?
Totally, yeah. I just think if you're doing something that you genuinely enjoy, you just do it more. So if it's training agents to increase fees, helping business owners to manage their team, building cultures, whatever it is, I feel if I can add some value to someone, I get my kickback from that, and then I get the reward of seeing them make progress. So it's just fun, really, in a nutshell.
Love that.
I don't tend to do much I don't like anymore. You get the occasional situation, but that's...
So what's your favourite bit then?
I love feedback. So...
giving it or getting it?
Getting it. So whether it's not so good or it's really good, either way I like both forms, because I think progress, we were talking off camera about how people should be focused on their own personal progress, and I think for me personal progress is something that's inbuilt in us. And if you feel that you're spending your time in your comfort zone, which most people are addicted to, you're just going to be plateauing the whole time. And I like people to see that they've made that growth. So when they look back, they see how far they've come. Got countless examples of that. And that's where even agents within the business, partners or clients that I mentor, seeing them go through that, that's great. Love that.
To what extent, let's just quickly dip into that then. So what extent, let's talk, because you do mentoring.
Yes.
So you mentor business owners.
5 business owners, no more.
And that's not your Giggs & Co group?
No, so it's outside of that. It's something I've done for about 10 or 11 years. I worked as a corporate director with 14 managers, so it's kind of a better version of that. I hate to say that, because I'm not telling them what to do as such. I'm helping them.
Dictated by shareholders.
Exactly.
Those who represent them,
it's actually identifying someone's beliefs, values, vision, and helping them to navigate through the challenges, which invariably, let's be honest,
working out their priorities,
absolutely,
building their business around that.
It's not a template as such, and it's very individualised. So it gives me variety, which I love.
So you're sort of, that's mentoring those?
Yes.
And coaching, and a little bit of coaching and training.
A tiny bit of coaching. I do some training with some people at the right times.
Difference between
There's a massive difference. We were talking about that off camera. My wife's a coach. She asks a lot of questions that you don't want to answer. And that's as a husband. But the other thing is, mentoring is about me combining my 29 years of making lots of mistakes, realising that I've done things well, I've done things not so well, and instead of someone taking 29 years, why don't I just help them do it in a lot less time?
Yeah.
And it feels like that's the bit that I can share, which is valuable. So yeah, mentoring's more guidance.
Gotcha. Okay.
Keeping that course correction.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So taking somebody's ideals
Yes.
of what they want their agency to look like or what they want to represent. And of course, you've got to be careful who you work with, because you've got to make sure that you're comfortable with that as well.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, yeah.
You
Sometimes.
said no to anyone?
Oh God, yeah. You have. Well, you don't say no as directly as that, but the thing that you do is normally present them with a thought that's not that appealing. So something along the lines of that. This is what I'm going to want you to work on first. It's usually
personal skills.
It's usually them.
Yeah.
So they might say my team's crap, or I can't get big fees, or I can't do this, or I can't do that, and it's all to do with the first thing, which is what goes on between their ears. So the first part of mentoring someone is, unless you open that door, unless you open their mind, there's absolutely no point working with them. We've got some cycles coming here, look, so we better have a little chivvy over.
Get run over.
Good morning.
Nice day to do it. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Hi there.
So yeah, first of all, it's really, you can't build a house without foundations. It's
Yeah,
no
so it's
different
that
in
sort of
person.
those who are pointing the finger, not the thumb, as we say in our office.
I think, well, let's be
those
honest,
people are
most
gonna be
business
difficult to
owners
work
have worked in the corporate world,
Uh-huh.
and or they've worked for someone else.
Yeah.
They may have worked their way up the ladder, so there's an ego that comes with all of that, and I've had it, whereby if results aren't good, you look at the team. But actually, if the results aren't good, you should be looking at yourself.
The direction the team is being
Absolutely.
taken in.
And actually, it's not about beating yourself up. I think this is the bit that people need to get over. It's actually, there's opportunities here for us to improve what we do. What are they? And actually, through the team, you can find out those solutions. So actually, it's about multiplying the brain power around you and actually getting more collaboration around you, your team and your network, which takes a lot of pressure off of business owners. Because I think a lot of the time it feels quite lonely. And it closes that gap of
Genuinely
loneliness.
does, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally.
And I think that's something which we'll touch on, I think.
Yes.
That whether it's self-employed agency as a partner like we have, or obviously you're involved by design and you have your own Gigs and Co group, or Gigs group that has your own partners or your own limited companies, you say, as business owners, but you provide an element of support there, don't you, for all of those models?
Yeah.
Not you personally, but the structure within that.
Yeah, I think support is a great word. It's about knowing that you've got people that can actually listen, offer different perspectives on things, because most of the time we've all got blind spots which we don't even take into consideration. It's the same when you're driving, there's a blind spot. It's no different when you're driving a business. There are blind spots, and more often than not, the blind spots are you have more blind spots if you're closed-minded.
Absolutely.
So it's about opening people's minds up.
So let's take a moment to pause then.
Yeah.
Let's talk blind spots.
Yes.
Let's hook into something. So we've gone down a little bit of a rabbit hole.
That's all right. I don't mind a rabbit hole.
So blind spots.
Yeah.
What are an agent's traditional blind spots? What are we seeing that in the world right now that agents are missing, that they should be, as business owners, whether that's self-employed or otherwise, that they should be keeping an eye out for?
Well, first of all, I think we touched on feedback. How many agents actually want to hear the truth? Whether it's their team and what they really think, and leaving a door open for people to share what their real thoughts are, or from clients that have chosen someone else, other than the usual two excuses which are made, which is price and fee.
Yes.
Let's be honest, you've won stuff on price and fee before, so why would it be any different? So I think the blind spots are usually around awareness, and their lack of awareness around how much that sort of thing can help them. So I think feedback from people around you, whether it's family or mentors or your team or your clients, all of that will accelerate your learnings far quicker than listening to, sorry, not your podcast, but podcasts, going to an event, doing all of
Even
these
this
things.
one.
Totally, because it's specific.
They know you better
it's specific.
than anybody else, potentially, those friends and family.
Totally.
And,
Totally. One of the best lessons I've learned are from clients where it went wrong. So, clients where it's gone wrong is where you learn.
Finding out where you're going.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Whether it's a coaching client.
Do we do that through the sort of prism of net promoter scores and that sort of thing?
Well, I haven't used those myself.
Or is it just direct conversations?
Personally, I think if you're giving up your 2 hours or 3 hours or 1 hour to conduct a full appraisal with someone and a strategy, that if you can ask for 5 minutes on whether, without you or not, where their journey goes,
Yeah.
I think that's more than fair. So I always believe a conversation after that's far better than...
So make it two-way.
For sure. Because actually there's going to be feedback about their property, about what they can do to get to their goal, which I think's the ultimate place to start any appointment, but to also end it and recap. And then in reverse of that, it's the feedback about you. It's the feedback about your business. And I think sometimes because we want to be liked, we're in an industry where people, we want to be liked.
And we're business owners, we know what we're talking about, right?
Exactly.
We
the gold's
don't need
in the
people to tell
feedback.
us.
The gold's
when I was a
in the
negotiator,
feedback.
I'd accept people telling me what to do, but when I'm a business owner, I don't want to know.
Exactly. But actually, it's more costly if you don't. It is really more costly if you don't, because you could be ploughing down areas where you're putting the same amount of time and effort and money into an area which is genuinely not aligned with who you are, your vision, your values, and actually taking a step back because someone's giving you that feedback is gold.
And there's a secret to taking feedback as well, isn't there? It's not just about asking, listening, logging, even applying. One thing I was taught was when you seek feedback, do so professionally rather than personally. Because if you take it personally, you're not really going to listen, are you?
I think clients sense whether you're looking for what you want to hear. So if you frame it as, I'd like to know how we can improve and all of this kind of stuff, that's fine. Yeah. But I think you can ask much better questions.
How did I do?
Exactly, I think it's like, please tell me what I want to hear, and that softens the blow. When actually,
there are all kinds of mechanics to do that, aren't there? There's all kinds of ways.
It could be something tangible, which gives you an opportunity to just shift things. Yeah. If it's aligned with what you do. So I think there's so much gold in getting feedback.
Good, love that. Okay, good. Okay, so let's take a step back then. So that's blindsiding.
Yes.
Blind spot.
Blindsiding. Yes, blindsiding as well. That's all right.
In terms of what we're perhaps potentially neglecting or not keeping an eye on. The industry at the moment is going through a pretty seismic shift with all self-employment and that becoming a massive disruptor. There are big players, the EXPs, the Agency UKs, the sort of larger ships that are building momentum, and then there are the smaller, more niche ones like By Design, Chartwell Noble, etc., that are drilling down on a niche and making sure that they're very specifically focused.
Yes.
So, as an industry, we're seeing an awful lot of change, aren't we?
We are.
So, what are your thoughts in terms of that? Because you've got Gigs & Co, that's high street.
Yes.
You've also got interests in a business that are brokerage.
We've got a traditional kind of setup. We're off the high street. We've never been in the high street. We're kind of always a fair distance away from the high street. Okay. But it's a traditional kind of
So it's a location, so it's a hub rather than a high street. Okay.
Yeah. And but coming back to the point, starting an estate agency today is different than it was when we started 13 years ago. And what we've had to be aware of is the fact that we don't need to go and replicate what we've done already again and again and again. Yeah. Where it costs you an arm and a leg to get it off the ground, and you put a whole heap of pressure on your results in the first 1 to 2 years.
Morning.
I think there's a much better way of doing it. And I prefer the niche approach, whether that's because I'm getting old, I'm not sure, and whether the volume isn't there.
Your bandwidth is getting narrower, is it?
Well, I just think we're in a nice position now as a company where we don't necessarily have to work with everyone.
Yeah, well, that's the power of no.
Yeah,
the power of being able to say no.
Yeah, I mean, we've worked with some real characters over the years, and characters are okay. We've also worked with clients who, if we were asked from the outset, do we want to work with them, the answer would have been no.
Morning.
But we didn't say no, because we wanted to get the listing or to get your priorities shift. So I think if people are looking at what they want to do next, you've got to find somewhere that's really aligned with the type of market you want to work in. Yeah. Because if that's the market you want to work in and the brand's got that support around you, as we talked earlier, company brand attracts, personal brand converts.
Yeah, I love that. It was Kirsty Franks.
Kirsty Franks, she talked about that on my podcast, and I think it's such a good encapsulation of what should work. I personally think agents should have a mixture of the two, because I think the high street is showing that a brand, a large corporate brand, without people, I say front facing, but without any personal branding in there, it just doesn't work. Yes,
you can't relate, can you?
Absolutely. And then the opposite end.
In a world where we're more desperate to have that than ever before.
Well, you need to know, people buy people. So, if you're not seeing the person, you're relying on just that brand for attraction. And then, for me, it all falls away from there. You're losing half the opportunity. And then the other flip side is personal estate agency, who are literally, there isn't a brand supporting them.
Yeah.
So there isn't a credible kind of backup to what they do, which aligns, again, like I said. So you've got the power of the both. And if you're only there on your own and you're out of your bedroom, you lose that credibility then of having someone that works alongside you.
It's that sort of, there is a happy medium, isn't there?
I think there's this power of, so you should be having a strong company brand and a strong personal brand.
We've had a lot of conversations recently with people who are looking to exit some of the big national brands.
Yes.
Who are, the conversation has gone two ways.
Yeah.
Firstly, it's a bit nervous about leaving a brand
Yeah.
that has such weight behind it.
Yeah.
But also the converse, which is, well, if I wanted to do that, I'd just do it on my own.
Yeah.
And it's been a really interesting sort of way to tailor both of those conversations, those responses, to go, well, yeah, you could do it on your own, but brace yourself, because it's going to cost a lot of money and you're not going to get a lot of sleep. And actually, it's going to take many, many years before you actually get on top of the sort of, or release yourself from the bungee of startup to get momentum.
Yeah, I think, look, there's fear is always kicks in with leaving somewhere that you've felt safe in. You've got that security, large salary, leads. Yeah, 100%.
So you left Countrywide.
But they're all wanting to leave. There's something that makes them want to do something for themselves. A niggle. Yep. There's something that makes them think. Belief. It could be, actually, I want to be out there, And for me, it was I fell out of love with what we stood for.
Okay.
And that was it. Countrywide, it turned into this machine of, it just felt like it depersonalised. It was like, yes, we've got a brand. I ended up having 3 brands under my stewardship, if you like, and it just felt weird, My team meetings. And some were competing in the same towns.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And you're just like, this has broken all of what we've built.
To manage, isn't it?
Well, we built this terrific kind of culture. And it wasn't quite the Wolf of Wall Street, but it was bloody brilliant. And the energy was fantastic. I mean, I'm not sure whether that was to do with the Red Bulls that they were drinking or whatever else they were doing at the time. But it was terrific. And then because of how Countrywide were growing, it was, well, now you need to look after this brand and this brand. Well, literally, I'd walk in one office, you go in, on the right-hand side's of one brand, on the left-hand side's the other brand, and they're now both reporting into me.
Yeah, and they're in competition with each other.
And they're in competition
with each other's secrets.
That's just weird.
Nowadays, would you get away with that in the same way?
I don't think
so. Or do they? I mean, there's a huge GDPR issue, isn't there? I mean, they're attending similar appointments in similar houses.
I think, is it Dexter's? I can't remember who's been buying up a lot around London. And
yes, I know there's been some articles.
There's 3 or 4 brands in the same area, and I don't know. For me, kind of going back to the point about brand, I think if you're going to set up on your own at the moment with no umbrella, with no one that's walked the journey who can help you to speed up your own journey and give you the intellectual property, you're missing a major trick. Because for the amount of... Well, also for the amount that you give back, let's say, for example, there's a commission split or you pay a monthly fee, what's it going to cost you to get your personal own single brand above the credibility of 2 brands?
I think that's really interesting, and I want to drill down on that a bit more again.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because I strongly believe in it.
Yeah.
But there is a chasm of difference between being an estate agent and being a business owner.
Yeah, for sure.
And we spoke about this earlier, that for us at Chartwell Noble, and I know that the by design approach is very similar, that we're actually after people who can do estate agency very, very well, but we're actually wanting to help them become business owners.
Yeah.
And so our model is that we want good estate agents and we'll help them become business owners. So we teach them about focus and how to be disciplined with their time and how to build business systems and all the rest of it. And some people are interested in that and some people are not.
Yeah.
Those who are embracing them and grasping them and doing, sticking to them rigidly are doing really, really well. And those who are perhaps, not quite as interested in that aren't doing or aren't on the trajectory or on the path perhaps that they could be.
Yeah.
And I think that's really interesting that you say what you say, because if somebody has walked that path, why wouldn't you follow in their footsteps, right?
Well, I think that's like one of the 101 of growing a business to where you want that business to go, is to find someone that's done it and to almost drill down on exactly how they've done it to make sure that you accelerate your learning.
It's the scars.
Why
isn't it?
stretch the pain out for longer than it needs to be?
They've already been through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, use theirs.
Take the format, the formula, the blueprint, whatever it is, plug that in. But going back to the two brands, for me, if you work on your own in isolation, you lose a lot of credibility. There's a lot more credibility to be around like minds from a learning perspective, from an authority perspective, so from a client's perspective, if they know you're part of something which adds them more value, that's a real strong point as well. So you're combining the both. So for me, it's personal and company brand. And that's what we've done at Gigs, is we allow people, we encourage people to build their personal brand, albeit there's still resistance.
Yeah, really.
And
That's
I think the more we...
Is that nerves, do you think? Or is that, again, does that come down to comfort zone?
I think our country, it needs a bit of a shake-up because people worry way too much about what everybody else thinks, So I think they worry what their friends might take the mickey out of them, or
Good, you want that. Shows they're watching.
It's just like I've had so much abuse that I probably haven't even heard as well over the years from old network, old
But you've
friends.
always put yourself out there, haven't
Because
you?
I thought if I don't,
You've always been visible, haven't you?
well, I only went on social media when we started Gigs & Co. And
but you really embraced it, though. You went fully for it, and I think you started early with a media person in your team, didn't you? You were probably one of the early adopters.
Yeah, well,
of
I
that.
had a guy who'd done our websites and stuff, and he was giving me plenty of direction. And do you know the thing? All I did at the start, if I'm being brutally honest, is I just talked about what we were doing, why we were doing it, sharing some successes, talking about our client's journey, all of that kind of stuff, which for me related people to the brand. So it helped us to attract staff, it helped us to attract clients, because people could see from the outside looking in what our culture looked like. And I think that for me is the strength of company brand.
I want to pick back up on what we've just discussed there. You started your business.
Yes.
And one of the first conscious decisions you made
Yeah.
was to, before most other people were doing it, and let's be honest, it is that because you were one of the first people that started to do the rounds and all the things like LinkedIn and socials, other socials, was to make sure that you were as visible as possible and not about selling houses.
Oh, totally. Like all of our stuff was, we didn't post a property on our Facebook page. Well, we posted a couple at the beginning and then we realised nobody liked them. And actually they much prefer to know about the community stuff that we did, or the support for the local schools, or someone in the team achieved something, or those kind of things. And a lot more of, actually it was quite fun. There was a lot of fun stuff there. I think we've lost that a little bit because sometimes you forget that the things that you would want to watch or listen to or look at on social media are the things that the other people do as well. They don't really give that much of a crap about the housing market as much as Chris Watkins might suggest that they do. But they want to know when it comes to moving, if they remember you because they liked you and they felt they could trust you and they feel that there's an alignment there, you'll get the invitation. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
that trust
so visibility. Well, visibility for me was, I didn't even realise how freaking much reach Facebook had at the time because I was never on social media. So I was doing stuff on there completely natural, more to take the mickey out of my friends, or I didn't have a clue that if someone liked it, it meant somebody else could see it. And it was just like, when you kind of figure that out, you kind of think, Jesus Christ, the reach is tremendous.
Well, I think that's the thing I was trying to get to, wasn't it? That we love property, because that's what
Yes.
we do.
Yeah.
We now know that it's less about property, it's more about people.
Yeah.
We know that, but we forget that when we're translating it across, because we're so used to advertising through newspapers. You wouldn't put a picture of us in the newspaper, you know, laughing about what we've been up to and how we've been doing things. So now this new channel, which has been around for 20 years, that people are only just getting their heads into gear as to something. Some are doing it exceptionally, of course.
Yes,
some are
of
being
course.
absolutely amazing, and some are not doing it. But these self-employed agents, it's free.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you do it? And it's not about overly staged.
No.
It's not about property. It's the clues in the title, isn't it?
Yeah.
Social.
Yeah, absolutely. Not antisocial. Not, oh, I'm going to sell at you
Property
social.
media, is it?
Yeah. Well, I think if you're putting properties on there, it's like you're trying to sell them in the eyes of the consumer. When actually, if you're putting a bit more context around who you are, what you stand for, your values, the fun stuff, the informative stuff, there's a mixture of foundations and pillars that I think ultimately build the perfect personal brand or company brand. So I think it is a free tool. It takes time, so there is a cost to it. But would you get that much audience reach in many other areas for nothing? I don't think so.
No.
So I think it's a great thing.
Well, we had Simon Ledbetter on a few weeks ago, and his phrase was, look, if you could have told me 25 years ago that you had a way of getting me in front of all these people for free, I just wouldn't have believed you.
Well, do you know what? I just made me think then. So I worked with 5 one-to-one clients. All 5, they went through the 7-11-4 principle, which is what Daniel Priestley talks about. Some had watched me for 5 or 6
Just explain
years.
that
So I think it's 7 points of contact, 11 different locations, or something along those lines. So the principle, I'm trying to remember it offhand, is how many times you're visible. So they might have seen you on social media, they might have seen one of your boards, they might have seen you on a presentation, an event, a speaking event.
The omni-channel.
The omni-channel. So basically, it's about building that personal brand, but also a brand that they connect with, a person that they connect with. So these clients have all been watching me for years. None of them were in my comment sections. None of them were really liking any of the content. And they literally just reached out via email. Hi Matt, I've been following you for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. I love about this, I love about that. I've got some challenges, can you help?
Yeah.
And for me, that's the same as an estate agent in their local community. So a lot of the messages I still get.
That's where the community lies now, isn't it?
I just had another one this week, and I'm hardly as visible in Facebook around St Neots, where I live. Like for 3 or 4 years, I've kind of distanced myself away from that because it's not my main role.
Yeah.
But I still get every month, or every week really, a lead of some perspective because of the work that I did 13 years ago.
It's incredible. I mean, we were talking, George, our business partner, of the 3 of us at Chartwell Noble, we were analysing our lead sources yesterday. We were taking a look at where they were coming from, and we were analysing whether it was direct mail or whether it was through, Google and Rightmove, etc. And it was quite open. He just said, well, most of it's my little black book.
Yes.
Well, that's because you've got a platform to work from. And he was like,
Yeah.
well, no, that's true. That's exactly what it is. And
Yeah.
and then when we look at, Vicky, who's one of our partner agents who covers sort of the Stourbridge area and the lovely villages around there, she's got fantastic momentum at the moment because she's really visible.
Yeah.
Because she's showing houses, she's showing her journey.
Yep.
She's got boards.
Yep.
There's direct mail. There's promotion. There's activity. So wherever you look, and I think that's it, isn't it? What the great feedback is when somebody turns around and goes, "You're bloody everywhere at the moment, aren't you?"
Oh God, yeah.
How great is that to hear?
Well, you're hitting the right spot.
Absolutely.
If I was a new agent today, I'd probably do a guide of some description. If that's part of my lead magnet, if you like, or a video which allows people to kind of come on that journey with me so they get to see what they can do to their home to improve its value or whatever before going to market. There's so many different ways of attracting your audience. And don't forget, this is your audience that you're attracting. And this is the bit that I think people forget. You're building your brand. You're building your network. So it's not just the person that connects with you and moves with you. It's the person that then connects with that person.
Yeah.
So it's that spider web of opportunity. the amount of clients I've worked with over the years who have come via someone or via someone else, it's incredible. So every day you've got that opportunity to start that journey with a new person in your audience.
Via a media that's free.
It's free.
And you can build your own audience.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we've been 18 months in the making at Chartwell Noble, and we've got to reach, just for our Chartwell Noble account, $250,000 a month.
Wow.
And that is because we put things in the right places.
Yep.
None of that's paid for. Well,
No.
we do have organic, and we do we do have paid for media, of course we do, but our organic is such that we make sure we're visible in all the right places.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a conscious effort. That's a thing you've got to do, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Why wouldn't you? And there'll be something around fear. Or there'll be... Because if they knew the results that they were going to get from it, guaranteed, they would do it.
Yeah.
Right?
If
So there's a little bit of fear
anything
somewhere.
And you knew you wouldn't fail?
The first video I did was in 2012, a month after starting the business, and it looked like I was reading the news. I had a tie on, a suit. It's very stiff. 35 takes.
And look how far you've come.
Wow, yeah, no. But I tell you what, though, getting started. As it says, you don't have to be great to start. You just got to get started to be great. The thing is, you're never going to be perfect. So ultimately, it's as long as you're talking about the things that you're passionate about, that will shine through. It's when you try and be someone you're not, you mess it all up.
And people can see it.
And people can feel it, they can see it. But like I said, the first videos, I mean, Jesus Christ, I was sweating, I didn't know what to say, and the bloody words were in front of me as well. So I shouldn't have been messing it up, but I was, because I was talking probably the corporate Matt. I was the corporate Matt in my own business.
In that zone.
I was still in that zone, lacking in confidence, not really knowing certain things that were important to me.
Well, it was entrenched in your psyche, wasn't it? You didn't know how to be no different, so you had to...
I didn't know if it was going to work. I didn't know in many ways, as we all do when we start a business, you don't really know what you're doing.
Well, yeah, I think we all know that.
We know the agency bit, but we don't know the other stuff.
The business ownership bit. So let's talk about that then. So that social side of things, one would argue that we've done it to death in just the last 10 minutes alone, and then I bleat on about it all the time. So people are fed up with me talking about it. But what I want you to share with us now is when you left Countrywide, you went on a bit of a journey, didn't you?
Yes.
So you went on a bit of a journey of discovery, learning, and that's... I know you've talked about it before, and I know people would have heard about it before, but what I'm really interested in is that journey that you went on.
Yeah.
You went through the mileage, you went through the pain, you spent the money on it.
You did
a lot of
totally.
effort, a huge amount of effort, and you learnt from some of the most incredible people in the world.
Yes.
Naming some names.
So like Tony Robbins, there was Action Coach. I had some help and support from those guys, but for me it was I get inspired. You know, I need to be inspired by people. I love the connection that I can have with people when I feel that what they talk about resonates.
Yeah.
And this is why you should be doing it as well. I was 17 stone, very unfit, come out of the corporate world, wasn't particularly healthy. I worked hard, but I had no energy. I felt low. So there's a lack of resilience there when you feel like that, because ultimately when you're low energy and you don't feel great about yourself, you're more submissive. So you don't necessarily stand your ground quite as hard as you should, or your personal values are easily compromised. So I learnt a lot, 5 or 6 years of going through that stuff. I then realised that I've got 3 children, and I needed to probably invest a bit more time in being a dad, which I've done for the last sort of 5 years. And now it feels to me like I'm on that next phase, which is probably the one that I'm looking forward to the most. But see, coming back on to you've got to work harder on yourself than you do in your business or on your business.
Love that. Let's walk and talk about it, because I want to drill down on that.
You cannot create a great business if you're not in a great place. You can't. It's almost impossible unless you've hired literally the whole team to do it without you. Because if you're in the wrong spot with the wrong mindset, a closed way of looking at things in a world which is changing the way it's changing currently, and you're not willing to be open about changing how you do things and learning new things, looking at the blind spots which we talked about earlier. Personal development it helps you to take responsibility. It helps you to look at yourself first. The easiest thing, and I think this is bled into our victimhood country, which I think it is everything's everybody else's fault. So this is why the two governments and all
So
of this stuff
polarised at the moment,
it's so polarised, because everyone's either right or they're left, and and if you're over on here, it's because they're this and they're this, and neither party, and maybe neither the one that's coming through the next phase, are going to have more control over your life and your outcome than you are. So why the fuck would you put your hands and your everything, your world, or everything in the hands of an external hope that a politician might come up with a good policy?
The phrase is control the controllables, but you've got to work out what is controllable, haven't you?
I can't. I've lost all faith in politicians. Not all, maybe, but the majority. You know, but I can't lose faith in myself.
Yeah.
So, how do I build that faith in myself, that belief in myself? You have to first of all start with taking responsibility. So, if there's problems in your business, it starts with me. If there are problems with the listing fees, let's start with me. How can I set a better example, or whatever it might look like? If there's problems with culture, it starts with me. And believe me, as successful as things have been over the years, I've been entrenched in darker moments in those areas that I've just mentioned, because complacency is also a kicker, isn't it? Because when you're doing well, what happens is you stop doing the things that got you there.
Blind spots.
So it's another blind spot. It's another part of working on yourself more than you do your business. So what does that look like? For me, it's every opportunity you get to listen, to learn, to be around good people, find a mentor, find a coach, and work with great people, which is why I think you should be in a team somewhere. You know, hey mate, he's got a camera on his helmet as well. Look. You've got to be around great people. You've got to have an environment where you feel like you're able to learn. I think
like a mastermind group
100%.
or
Yeah,
network of like the FIA we talked about earlier.
FIA, there's loads of options. And I think closed minds look at those things as a waste of money, because they look at it like this. They go, well, it's £200 a ticket or whatever. That's a lot of money. And actually you think, £200?
It's an investment, isn't it?
I could get you £500 increase on your fees within 24 hours, and that'll bring you another 100 grand's worth of revenue in next year if you're open-minded.
But you can't. Key,
but it is an expensive cost for someone who doesn't invest who's not invested in themselves. So for sure.
I love that. So it's so powerful, isn't it? The closed-minded people, even if they are even open just a little bit, can be so disruptive, can't they?
Oh my God!
To a business.
So
well, they think they're open because they're open a little bit.
How many times I've heard over the years, we don't do it like that.
It doesn't work like that.
That doesn't work like that here.
It won't work in this town.
Our window display is smaller than the other agent's window display, which is why we're shit. You know, it's like, no, it's because you're shit. No, it's you sit there and you think, well, it's because you've put excuses in your way instead of opportunities.
I had a great experience just mirroring that, where I was sat at a, let's call it an advisory panel with a group of agents who were sat together. And I was listening to a chap who turned around and said, my staff are shit. Their fees are just crap. They can't convert. The conversion rate is too low. The fees are too low. It's bloody Purple Bricks' fault. And Rightmove are kicking my arse as well. And these bloody utility bills, this government tax changes, these people. And I started to smirk. And he said, what are you smiling at? I was like, you.
Yeah.
I said, my nan always taught me that if it was everybody else's fault, it's probably yours. You know?
Totally.
And it was. He wasn't very happy about that. I've got to be honest. And then he blamed me for all his other problems. Yeah. But it's like, how can you not see the correlation between your blame and
your
your
results.
denial that it's your responsibility to solve these problems,
Yeah.
and you're pointing the finger at everybody else, and that thumb should be pointed back at you.
100%.
The responsibility lies with me, and that's not just Matt. That's not just team owners. That's self-employed agents as well, isn't it?
Hugely, and the market. How many times have you heard it's a bit tough at the minute? What's tough? Break that down for me. Well, there aren't as many people inquiring as there was a couple of months ago. Okay, why do you think they're not inquiring now compared to a couple of months ago? Well, it's because it's the holiday season. Okay, so tell me about the holiday season. Is everyone not buying now? Is that right? And have you sold anything recently? Yeah, I have sold some. Which one did you sell? How many people looked at that? And then you break them back out of this cycle, which is you've probably got the price strategy wrong. You haven't marketed it, and you've forgotten what sales is all about, which is actually speaking to people. Yeah. So let's just go through those processes for a second. Go back to basics. So we all do it. I make excuses. You'll probably do the same. Stuart might occasionally.
No, he's brilliant.
But everyone's built in this country to go, it's somebody else's fault first. So my thing to anyone watching this is create a better default question for yourself. What can I do to get better? What can I do to see the opportunity? Where is the opportunity? As opposed to, it's the economy, it's the Labour government, it's this, it's this. By the way, I think there's so many challenges out there that it will brainwash you into thinking that there's nothing
you can do about it.
Absolutely, which is actually where the opportunity is.
It genuinely is, because
everybody
else feels the same.
Everybody else is going to say that, and you're the only one that's going to sit there with people and say, I can show you how to sell your house in the current climate and get the best buyer, which will get you the best price. Let me show you. Now, that's what people need to hear if they're going to be selling their home. Yeah. So yes, it's all in the mind.
One of the to sort of complement that, I think, one of the things that we drill relentlessly into our team is you don't have to have the largest market share.
No.
You just have to do enough to make it work for you, and to show and demonstrate that you know what you're doing. And for us at Chartwell Noble, the phrase is, you don't have to do a lot to do well.
No.
Okay, our fees are strong, our ability to convert is great, our brand is strong enough behind you, you're capable, otherwise you wouldn't be in the business. And actually, you've just got to turn up and apply the formula.
Yeah.
And when you're sitting there and thinking, this is a disaster, what on earth's going on? So just hold the line, just stick with it, because you've come from a world where, whether it's working for some of the big, more corporate brands, or even some of the smaller independents, where market share is really, really important.
Yeah.
Really, really important.
Well, that was always my mentality years ago.
Of course it is, but you don't need that as an independent agent or a self-employed agent. You just need to do the amount. As long as your fees compensate for your lower market share, and therefore your top line and therefore your bottom line is more healthy, you don't need to worry about dominating. You just need to worry about increasing the quality of what you do.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Oh, God, yeah. So volume leads to, I believe, a service that doesn't warrant the fee. So, because you don't have that time to spend, to give, to contribute, to have conversations, to really maximise the relationship with the client. So I think volume invariably leads to that place, and then if you go around that cycle, where does it end up? You're losing money, you end up losing market share, you lose a lot of people along the way, and you can make that mistake. It's a mistake I've made. I think market share, yes, it gives you a certain amount of, oh, that's nice, we're there. But actually, it's very done. What gives you more of a buzz?
Yeah, in a week's time, it's gone.
Exactly.
We were just talking about Chris Watkin and his pie charts. We all know what they look like.
Yeah, and for some people, that's a really important thing. I don't think it's as important for the consumer.
They're not really that bothered. They just want to feel that they can trust.
Yes. As long as you've got stories, as long as you've got success stories, statistics, data that can support what you do differently to everybody else, you'll be absolutely fine.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
We've just been through the conversation about what's important and market share and what have you. But what I really want to just sort of spend the last bit on is talking about structure.
Yes.
going back to self-employed people or independent business owners or people who are just starting up,
Yeah.
it's really easy to become massively overwhelmed, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot to do.
Where do I start?
Well, I would start by having someone take away the stuff that doesn't involve sales.
Okay.
I want someone to organise, help respond, help me to put my time in to the things that I'm really good at. So for
be
me, it's
superhuman at what you're superhuman at.
yeah, definitely. Because my first hire was a lady called Nikki, and Nikki was an admin salesperson. So what she did is she helped me stay organised, respond to inquiries, book appointments in, and she was brilliant on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like yin and yang. It was perfect combination. So
playing to your strengths.
play to your strengths.
Yeah.
So now you have AI, you've got automation, you've got VAs, you've got support.
You can build
You could build on
a
that.
structure around you.
Well, I think most agents are
Cost-effectively.
really good at a small area of the whole business ownership or entrepreneurship circle. So take the bit that you're good at and make sure you're doing it 80% of the time. Because the quicker you do that, the quicker you're going to scale your results. So that's the bit that I would say is essential. Because if you're spending half your time doing AML checks or you're doing admin, you're doing £15 an hour tasks when you're probably a £100 an hour agent. Well, let's just work that out.
If you're not, you should be.
Well, if you're not, you should be. Well, you can work it back. It's quite simple. What do you want to earn in year one? I want to earn 100,000. Okay, so how many completions is that? Well, you can work it out. You can work out what's your hourly rate. And if your hourly rate is a lot higher than the tasks that you're doing, you should be outsourcing the tasks that you're doing. And there's so much better ways to outsource now than there was 13 years ago.
Yeah. And it's all about. They don't have to be in this country, do they?
No. You want someone that can do it the way you want it to be done, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do.
There are so many prop tech solutions for, as you say, for AML, all the AI and all the CRMs that are out there. We're partnered with Street Group. I know you guys are with Iceberg Digital.
That's it. Lifecycle, yeah.
Lifecycle, that's it. You know, there are some fantastic tools out there that do the job.
Absolutely.
Or the £10 tasks for you, aren't there?
Yeah.
And a lot of the thinking for you as well.
Yeah. I think let's talk quite frankly that support roles are going to be a thing of the past. Admin roles are going to be a thing of the past because there's so, for an agent to have someone being able to do something 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for a damn sight less money and a lot less hassle, let's be honest, because most estate agents can't manage themselves, let alone manage other people, that you're taking a whole lot of stress away, a whole lot of costs away, and you're putting in a system which is going to be more efficient than the one that you've had.
And I think this is the key, isn't it? So a lot of people, they leave the structures or the constrained environments of a corporate environment or a corporate world because they don't want to be pinned down on, you know, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to do it this way.
You rebel.
Well, of course you do.
But it's the elastic band we talked about.
Yeah.
You go from micromanagement and numbers and spreadsheets and dashboards, and it gets stretched the other way when you first start in entrepreneurship, which is, I don't want to do anything with structure or discipline. I want to sit on sofas.
Or
Exactly.
It's a busy day on this towpath today.
But I do think the agents that do have a structure win.
Every time.
And that might only be an hour a day or 2 hours a day of actually reaching out to buyers and sellers and giving value. Don't try and sell, give value.
Yeah.
That if it's an hour a day, 2 hours a day, when you start
being sold
4
to,
hours a day, no. But people love to buy.
I think this is the point we were just discussing then was when they first start in self-employed agency, they're free.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when I left school. I left boarding school, public school. Obviously, of course, I went to boarding school. But I'm wearing a gilet for Christ's sake. But you started
I nearly
a country
wore
house
mine today.
agency. Not you can't wear them shorts.
It looked a bit weird, wouldn't it?
So you know, I left that really constrained and restricted world, went to university, absolute chaos ensued.
Yep.
I didn't attend university, drank my way through my first year.
Yep.
I would have had a fantastic time. But it was a complete mess at the end of the year and I had to reset it.
Yes.
So,
what were your results like?
well, they weren't great, got to be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah, Mum and Dad weren't too happy. But the point I'm making is that in business, you can't afford that year off.
But
you can't afford to be free from that stress. So those jobs are still important. You still got to do them.
Right. Discipline. You know, there's so much around what habits you form, what routines you've got, whether it's fitness, whether it's having your phone switched off so you get a break, whether when it's switched on, you're focused on who you need to speak to that day, giving yourself some goals. I honestly believe that the best agents have the perfect blend of working on the business and in the business. And they find the time to do both.
Especially if they're self-employed, because on the business is on themselves.
Yes, yeah, for sure. It might be on their marketing strategy. It might be on making sure that I can see the next 2 or 3 months worth of listings, and actually there's a load of follow-ups that I need to be on top of. The thing is, because they've come out of this place, and I always find this with a lot of people, they want to go the polar opposite direction. And the polar opposite direction is you at university in that first period, where you just have the best time, but the results aren't there. And I think, because it's like you can sit and watch, I nearly said Jeremy Kyle, it shows you how old I am.
Russell Quirk.
No, let's say you can watch Russell Quirk every day on Talk TV, you can listen to the news, you can watch some music, whatever. But for me, you've got to be able to talk to people consistently, outreach, and that should never ever stop. That should be a part of your agent focus strategy.
So that's your sort of, that sits at the core, that's the beating heart of it.
You've got to be in conversations to convert opportunities into business. You're running a business. You are running your own business. This is what you need to do. These are the things. Now you can go and pick your child up, go to their plays, go to sports day. 100%. That's why
you're doing it.
That's the whole freedom piece.
You might as well go 9 to 5 then, if you're not doing it.
But the thing is, there's no point doing all of that and then in the other hours you're not doing anything that's of any production. That's just pointless, because you won't get. You'll be out of a business as quickly as you've started it.
Yeah, it's really easy to roll around a deck.
Well, you'd just end up being back employed by someone.
Having lost a lot of money.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that makes perfect sense, really, doesn't it? That by that structure is so important, that discipline is so important, that focus is so important, because without any of that, you're literally going to roll around a deck, aren't you?
People are committed, right? And they're even addicted to comfort. Our country is definitely one of the worst, because it's been built on working for someone else. It's been built on following the conveyor belt which any government wants you to go on, when actually what you're doing is you're coming off of that conveyor belt, but you're going onto a fucking uphill mountain, right? So to get up that mountain, you've got to take a step. So if you're not moving up that mountain every single day, taking a step, moving forward, taking a step, moving forward, it doesn't have to be you get to the top within 3 months, but every day is an opportunity to take a step closer to the goal that you've set yourself in the near future.
Was it success lies on the other side of discomfort?
Yeah.
Or something similar to that? I think that's the phrase, isn't it?
If I would say, how many times a day are you uncomfortable with what you're doing, right? And most agents that I speak to, when I ask them, what did you do yesterday that made you feel uncomfortable? And they'll say, I don't know really.
Yeah.
And that's because they don't seek the discomfort conversations. And it's in
That
those.
sounds really interesting. You go after it, you look for it. You
You
actively look for it.
because you're not fearing it. You're actually leaning into it because you're going to get a learn or you're going to get a win. So either one of those things is better than what you wouldn't have got if you didn't start that mindset in the first place. So it could be, I'm going to reach out to a friend that listed their house with another agent, didn't even call me out. How many times estate agents has that happened, right? That happens. That just happens. And the more successful you get, by the way, as agents, the more that will frickin' happen as well. Because people don't want you to succeed. They'll support you as the underdog and then go against you when you've reached some modicum of success,
Well,
which is
people
normally
love-
beyond where they are.
Yeah, they love that. There's an energy that you give
That's
off when
it.
you're not being terribly successful that
Yeah.
people thrive off of. And I saw something the
Oh,
other
yeah,
day
it's
that
not
said,
me, is it?
if you want to try and find out who your friends really are, start a business.
Yes.
Because those people will be the ones that absolutely share everything. They're championing it. We've got some people that every single thing we put out on socials, they share,
support
they
you.
love that. And you know, they're people that you knew you were friends with, but you didn't realise how good a friend they were to you. And yet there are people that you've spent your
It's
life
a really
with.
awkward
that you say,
realisation.
genuinely is, isn't it?
But
Family members as well sometimes.
Family members, you realise that Jesus Christ, like, they want you to lose money to help them move. Was it mates rates
Yeah,
you get?
mates rates.
What are the mates rates? And I'll go, well, your friend, right?
yeah.
So let me explain how this works, you know.
I
I
used to-
work
when-
for
many
you to
years
get
ago.
you the best
Yeah,
price, and you
absolutely,
want to take
so
my fee
true.
away.
And many years ago, I had a pub in a different life, and I always remember the difference between those who would come in and not put their hand in their pocket,
Yeah.
and those who would go, no, I'm not letting you give
I'm
me
not
this. This is
taking
a
the piss.
business.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
you're here to make. And I always remember there was one chap specifically who I always thought he'd be the one who'd want the freebies. And he never let me pay for a drink. He would always buy me one. And it was just the most extraordinary shift in that dynamic in the friendship. And we're still
Totally.
great friends today. Those people will
Yeah.
want you to succeed. Well, they're not.
They do. And it's, like you said,
They're not opportunists. They're not trying to. They're
yeah.
not vultures trying to feed off your carcass, are they?
friends, right? You know, people that really support you. And they'll show it. They don't talk about it, they just show it. But you just got to be prepared as you start your journey, or if you're on your journey as running your own business in a self-employed world or whatever it is, people that you thought will support you won't. That's just the way it is. But let's go back to the bit. You could always have a conversation with them when it hasn't worked out with the other agent. And I think they're the kind of conversations that estate agents avoid. And they're the ones that they need to have.
Pride gets in the way.
Yeah,
Maybe,
yeah.
yeah.
Get. You know, there's no doubt that there's only one reason why every listing that's available for sale today hasn't sold, and that's the estate agent, right? Because they'll go, well, it's the price. Well, who set the price? Yeah, but the vendor did. But who's the estate agent?
Yeah.
You are. How
Who's
many have
giving
you
the
sold?
advice?
I've sold thousands of houses. How many have they sold? Well, a couple. Okay, so let's just do the maths there. So for me, as long as you realise that, you will take responsibility. So go into conversations every day that are more uncomfortable than comfortable.
The final bit then.
Yes.
Before we go and grab some lunch.
Ta-da.
I can take this fleece off because I'm roasting. Should have worn shorts.
Yeah.
So, controversial opinion time.
Yeah.
What is your controversial opinion that you don't share very often about the estate agency industry?
I would say 95% of people in a estate agency are crap at sales. So there you go. And actually, what industry is it?
95%.
It's sales. I think people have forgotten that sales involves understanding what people's needs are and giving them solutions. I think people, when they think of sales, they think of rejection. They think of closing, pressuring. That's not my idea of sales. If you're closing sales like that, they're more likely to fall through. My idea of sales is understanding needs, providing solutions, building relationships, and it's how you get some people over the line, because I think there is a point where buyers and sellers, with better questions, will make a decision that works for them. So that framework for me is sales, and I just don't think estate agents really are very good at it, and that's being very generalistic, but I would say probably 5% are really top tier, and the rest have forgotten how to do it or have never learned, because most of what people think comes through the inbox, the portals, the inquiries. That's not sales. You know, I spoke to one of my guys. He sold 15 properties in
It's reacting, isn't
Well,
it?
one of my guys this week said, I've sold 15 properties in the first 3 months. And I was like, brilliant. Write them all down and then tell me the story behind each one. And nearly every one was booked in for him.
Okay.
So there were leads coming in, And then on occasions, he was creating the sale off of being on a viewing and taking them to another one and that kind of stuff. So I was saying, look, let's distinguish what sales actually is. And that is...
There's a difference between selling and agreeing a deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So sales for me is about helping people to make decisions that actually meet their needs.
Great.
That's it. And I think estate agents tend to go out there with the viewpoint, I want the sale, i.e. I want the commission, i.e. I need the listing, rather than actually, no, forget about who's going out there, when you're in, when they're in, just go out there, and the clearer you are on what their outcome is as a client, and the clearer that client feels about the fact that you are the only one that's going to get them there with the least amount of resistance and the most amount in their back pocket, that's sales.
So this comes down to training, doesn't it?
Training, it comes down to open minds, so learning. It comes down with trying as well, testing and doing things that you've never done before. Damien's a classic example, one of my business partners. As we went through his forecast before we started 6 years ago, we got to the bit around fees, and I said, so come on then, what fees are we charging? And he said 0.9%. And I was like, fucking hell, Damien, you're going to make it really hard in year one.
It's been fun.
Yeah. And he said, well, look, I've worked here for 12 years. It's what they do. It's what this does. They do 0.7. And he went round the houses. And I said, well, we're not going to do it for that, mate. So, I was quite clear. Now he's got the best fees in our group at 1.47.
Oh, amazing.
So, what happened there? Well, his fees immediately went to 1.25. He got them. So as he got them, he thought, well, I need to raise them again. He really made what he did and what they do different to what others were doing in the marketplace at that time. And he believed it. So there you go.
And that comes down to being coached in the right way, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And I think...
it's hard to get there on your own, isn't it?
It is. And I think we all take inspiration. So it's a lot easier to do something that you see somebody else and they've done it and you've watched them and you've learned.
Well, social proof at that point, isn't it?
100%. Yeah. And I think we all need that. You mentioned earlier, I've been out and watched different people around the world. So I wanted to feel inspired, and you take away stuff and you think, that's something I can do immediately. That's something that I can work towards. And I think the fees thing is an immediate win. Any agent can increase their fees today. Anyone. Whether you're at 1.5, 1, it's exactly it. You've got to believe in it. I think most of the time people don't believe that they're worth what they're saying.
I think that's true. And I think that's what ultimately training comes down to, isn't it? Is having that. It's not just about do this, do that. It's about understanding the value that you as an individual bring, the brand brings. And as you said, the reason you left the world that you were in was because you didn't believe in it anymore. Yeah. So go and find somewhere that you do believe in.
Yeah.
Because my God, it gets easier when you do believe in it, doesn't it?
Oh, it's just authentic. You just talk about it differently. Your body language changes, your voice tone, the way you look at people. You're more convincing because you actually genuinely believe it. So all of those things just are a great recipe for you doing the job better and being rewarded better for it. So yes.
Awesome. Good. Matt, thank you so much.
That's all right.
It's been such a pleasure, as always.
I've enjoyed it. I was just going to see, have you caught much?
Have you caught anything?
Lots of small stuff.
Yeah, nice.
Enough for a sandwich?
Yeah. This is lovely. I'm going fishing soon and it's just made me think of it. It's the best thing. I need to do it more because you actually get a chance to switch off, especially from 3 kids as well, Ross. So don't leave that bit in. It's all right, they won't watch
do
it
that
anyway.
last bit again.
Yeah, no, that's it.